Hello, everybody out there on YouTube. I'm going to be your psychic reader for the Secret Services Celebrity Psychic Readings, Quintari Shakir. Please go to www.blackspectrumnetwork.com to purchase a private psychic reading. Please like, share, and subscribe to this video. Please leave a comment in this video, whether you like it, positive or negative. I'm also going to be asking questions throughout this video, so please answer my questions because it makes me feel like I'm in conversation with you all. So I'm going to try to be a little bit more conversational in my readings, but not so conversational that I am taking away from the reading. Alright, so I'm going to do a reading on R. Kelly's personality and see what the spirits have to say about him. So I'm going to preface, before I even pull any of these cards, I'm going to say this. I'm 27, and though I'm not a big follower of R. Kelly's music, I knew Ignition. I do remember back in the 7th grade when it became public that, his sex tape was public or whatever. I don't know if it was even, I was even in 7th grade, but I do know in the 7th grade I moved to Memphis. And there were these girls that said that if, R. Kelly asked them to have sex with them, they wouldn't have said anything. Now, that's all to say that at that age, we didn't know better, and we didn't understand what statutory rape was and power relationships, especially gendered power relationships, so that's not to justify it. But I do want to say that I do have some knowledge of R. Kelly being a sexual predator. So this reading may be a bit biased because I am aware of those things. So take all of that with a grain of salt. However, with that said, I do think that I do know that I'm a very objective reader. And I just read what the cards tell me, and I just repeat what Spirit says to me. So that's all to say that this reading is going to be a spiritual execution. So, yeah, I know that much. All right, so going to go ahead and pull these cards. All right, so the first card is saying that R. Kelly has an attraction to people who have very, very pure hearts and spirits, but he's also he also doesn't like to be in committed relationships. So he likes fresh faces, fresh minds, fresh energies, but he also doesn't like to be very attached to those fresh energies. So he's someone that he's like the first stepping stone. Like if you work with him career wise, he's not someone that you work with over the long term, but he's someone that he is someone that you want to work with at some point in your career. If you were trying to get started in the music industry, he'd be one person to connect you to some good people. But at the same time, they're also saying that he has an attraction to people with fresh faces, fresh spirits, and pure hearts. They're saying that R. Kelly is also someone that has the ability to use his words to heal people and to help them make sense of their lives and their lifestyles. But he also can take advantage of people who need help using that ability to heal people. So this next card is talking about him being a storyteller, someone that uses his ability to compel people with his words and mesmerize them. He can sometimes fabricate stories, or he can tell false truths, and he does it, and this is what they're telling me. He does it as a way to attract these very fresh faces. They're also saying that he uses his spiritual gifts for harm. He is someone that that's very skillful. He's very skillful at concealing who he is. He's kind of like a chameleon. He changes. He can appear very docile and very harmless. And R. Kelly can have a very unassuming demeanor, a very very unassuming demeanor about himself, and he's kind of sneaky. They're also saying that at any point in time, he can. He's a master at reading people's personalities. So if he spends enough time around you, he can pretty much pick up on what it is that you like, what it is you don't like, your emotional logics, and he can become whoever he needs to be to get you to open up to him or to believe in him or to build an allegiance, an alliance with him. They're saying that he's R. Kelly's actually very very spiritual. So he does practice some sort of spirituality. I'm not hearing it as like he's exactly Christian, but maybe he's kind of he meditates, he practices the law of attraction, but his ego causes for him to attract things that aren't good for him. They're also describing him as somebody that challenges authority a lot. And they're also saying that he is spiritual, but how do I say this? He uses some portions of spiritual doctrine to support what he believes. And if it's another teaching, a rule, or a message that's telling him to walk more upright, he throws it out. And he feels almost kind of like people that follow. He almost feels like people that have opinions of his life need to stay out of his business, because he follows the moral code of mind your business. This is my life. I have one life to live. You live your life to your best of your ability. And he feels like people that make these harsh judgments about people's personal lives. He's like, you all are sheep. You all are flocking towards towards other people's lifestyles. I'm just doing me. I'm just living my life. And if you were living your life, you wouldn't be part of this collective discourse talking about me. They're saying that R. Kelly is someone. He's very spiritual. I'm thinking that R. Kelly may have some sort of connection to some very powerful spiritual force. And I've never, kind of like the occult. Yeah, he's in the occult, I think. R. Kelly is like, okay, this is what they're saying with this advocate card. R. Kelly's kind of like a scammer. If anyone's had a friend that's been that's like it's like scammers, people that have participated in scammers, drug dealers, pimps, they're very, very, they're non-judgmental people. Okay, and they're very, very compassionate people, and it's almost like they're warm and they make you feel good about yourself no matter what you do, but it's because these people embrace negative behaviors because they want you, just because it's like, in case I get caught, I want you to support me through the terrible things that I do. You do something that's bad, I do something that's terrible, and they want you to, they're your friend, or they're supportive of you, or they're healing you because they expect you to support them. It is for their own personal gain. So okay. R. Kelly R. Kelly's very, very intuitive. He's a truth seeker. He's part of the occult. He's part of some occult. And it's not, and it's really just like a dark magic. It's kind of like he goes to spiritual workers to protect himself, and he doesn't mind paying the cost of protection, whatever that cost is. Like, he goes to spiritual workers and pays for legal protection, if that makes sense. And he's a very isolated person. He doesn't like his personal life being in the public eye. He actually shies away from it, and he's very, very private. He will oust anyone from his circle that tries to pry into his personal life, say anything about it. He's just like, mind your business. And that's the thing. A lot of people don't mind hanging around him because they're like, he's cool. Like, I can do what I want to around him. He'll support it. He don't say anything, And it's like, that's how he tries to keep his tribe. You have to, and they're showing me people with blindfolds around their eyes, earbuds in their ears, cotton balls in their mouth, and they're just kind of, coins around them. But R. Kelly is still seen as a hero in the community. And finally, the cards are saying that, no, they're not saying really anything new, but I guess you can just say that he has an addiction to feminine energy. That's the last thing that I hear, that he will compromise his integrity to go after these very virginal forces, these feminine energies. He's attracted to young women, specifically because he feels these women are more pure, that they. And I hate to say this, but this is what I'm hearing. He feels they're more pure, that they feel better, that they are more exciting to deal with. Anyway, so the rest of this reading, we're going to actually address some of the accusations that have been in the media about him. So this is just a spiritual consultation. So we're going to do a reading on his childhood, his relationship with children, and then how he is towards children. So I'm going to shuffle these new cards that I have never really used before. Okay, so I'm going to pull 3 for here for the first question. I'm going to pull a 3 for here for the second. And then I'm going to pull a 3 for here for the third. Alright, so my first question was doing a reading on his childhood. So this is how he grew up. R. Kelly grew up with he grew up in an abusive household. I think that R. Kelly was sexually abused by a woman. Okay, so there's a lot of information here. So this card is telling me that he was raised by his father, at a very young age, but his father was very violent. His father was also very overly protective of him, and his father was also he was a sexual. His father was a sexual deviant. I think that his father also had a lot of skeletons in his closet. So R. Kelly was exposed to that. He saw his father cover up a lot of stuff, and in addition to that, his father exposed him to.
Greetings, everyone. I'm Dr. Spectrum. Here's a word from our sponsors.
Allure the crowd with intensely moisturized skin using Melanon's unique shea butter blend. It contains a mixture of all natural oils and addictive fragrances. Hand-whipped organic shea butter imparted with luscious ingredients, Melanon can brighten dull skin with its specially made hydration formula. Shop Melanon.com and enjoy free shipping on orders of $50 or more. Does your technological device need restoration? Let us do the diagnosis for you. Is your computer running slow? Let us do the hard work for you. Not sure how to fix your tech device? We can fix it for you. LightSwitch Technical Solutions offers a wide range of information technology solutions, from hardware and software installation to data recovery and virus removal. For more information about computer and device repair, please visit www.lightswitchllc.com.
Well, there were women touching him. So I'm seeing some of these women coming to him saying like he was at a very young age, a very attractive young man, and women would, older women, and sometimes girls that were his age, like young girls, like girls that were like let's say like R. Kelly was 7, these girls were like 11 and 12. They touched him sexually, and his father actually knew about it. And his father encouraged it, and his father helped to set some of it up. And I'm saying that this became normal for R. Kelly. There were also young boys. There was an incident with a young boy, and his father helped to. No. There was an incident with a young boy trying to touch R. Kelly, and I think that his father beat up that young boy, or not so much killed him, but he messed a young boy up that touched R. Kelly. But R. Kelly has had he's experienced a lot of sexual trauma is very much normalized to him, and he almost feels like he wanted it. Yeah, it's almost like he was curious about it, he wanted it, and he wanted to participate in it. Like, it's just, yeah. Okay, so the next question that I had was a reading on his relationship with his children. So these 3 cards are for his children. Wow. Oh, wow, I'm going to keep using these cards. Y'all look at these. I don't know if y'all can see it, but I'm going to keep using these cards. These are... I love working with the dead, you all. Call me the dead worker. I'm gay day all day. But they're saying his relationship with his children. R. Kelly was very protective of his children, actually. He was very protective of his children, but at an early age, they started getting very sexual as well. I'm saying, I don't know how many kids he has, but I'm seeing a young boy, definitely, and this young boy followed in his footsteps, like with getting very sexual with girls. His son's very emotional. His son is emotionally connected to sex. it's almost like his son. If R. Kelly has a son, his son has followed in his footsteps. If that can make any sense, and his son, I'm seeing that there's like a union between him and other women. So it's kind of like, and the mom was distant. R. Kelly has multiple children, but he has a son in particular that's very much like him in that behavior. And I wouldn't be surprised if it comes out information comes out about his son doing some things like this, and it involves like him trying to marry someone younger or trying to justify being in a committed relationship with someone that's younger than him. And I'm saying that R. Kelly led a very distant life from his children. He had butlers, maids, a nanny. His wife at the time, she worked a lot, so she couldn't be as involved with the kids as she wanted to be. Now she may be more involved with them, but I'm seeing him having a wife and at some point with some children and a son. So I see they're telling me that much. I could read more about it, but I have lots and lots of questions to ask, and this reading is probably going to be it's going to be long, y'all. So, because there are a lot of questions. All right. So that's how his relationship is with one child, and he has a son who's older now, very handsome. He may be married, but he's a very sexual man. And I'm doing a reading on how R. Kelly is towards children in general. So for R. Kelly, what these cards are telling me is that R. Kelly has R. Kelly is dangerous around younger women. He has an attraction to that aesthetic, and he has an attraction to that mindset, that level of curiosity. He likes that freshness, and he likes. It's manipulation. He likes for things to come easy to him, very easy to him, and he likes to start things anew. So when something gets old, he kind of tosses young girls to the side, and that's how they're telling it to me. And I'm also seeing it as everything always comes crashing down with these women. And it always leads to a struggle where these women are fighting for more power in the relationship with him, and he always has other women fighting for his attention. And when I'm saying women, I'm saying it as like women 18 and up, but also he really does gravitate towards a younger sort of population. In the state of Georgia, it is legal to have sex with someone who is 16. Okay, like last month, a teacher in Gwinnett County Schools was 37 and had sex with a student. And the police commissioner for Gwinnett County said the act itself was not illegal, but it was a relationship, the fact that it was a teacher. So yes, in the state of Georgia, somebody can be 38 years old and work as a waiter, and they can have sex with someone who's 16, okay? So at that, when I'm saying younger, I'm trying to just say that law and morality is socially constructed, but the spirit is just telling the truth. It's someone that is a bit younger than 16 sometimes. And so, but those things always come crashing down for him very quickly, because once young children start maturing, they start wanting more from him, start feeling more powerful, start experiencing newer emotions, and then they start to realize that they're just competition like everyone else is. Okay. I'm going to do a reading on if R. Kelly hangs outside of high schools or middle schools or whatever. I'm going to do a reading on how he views women, and I'm going to do a reading on if he has a sex cult. Oops.
I just wanna fly away. First class out of space.